Right, so I'm going to be relicking this old Stratocaster here. It's an old Encore, so it's a very sort of low-end budget guitar. The electrics are a little bit cheap and nasty. Bridge is probably average, but I always find the body and the necks, just with a little bit of attention, a little bit of fettling, dressing the fret ends, straightening the neck, leveling the frets, etc., makes a really, really nice playable guitar once you've upgraded all the electrics and stuff. But I want to actually relic this guitar and make it look really, really old. The finish on it is really quite good actually, but there's a lot of damage in it. You can see here some few chips, things. I'll just give you a close-up. You can see there already there's like a mark in the actual paint itself, so it looks like a fault in the paint, which is perfect for me, for my purpose. It's a poly finish, so it's going to be a little bit more tricky than doing a Relic on a nitro finish, but I think we could get something that's going to look half decent. It's got a nice big gouge out here, the usual sort of bedroom scratch on the base here. The look I want to go for is something like this. I've just got these on the computer screen here. I think this was a Mike McReady from Fender Strat. That's the back there, so that's going to be quite interesting to do. A lot of damage and wear. And on that one there as well, looks like he's gone through, right through to the actual wood there as well, which would be good. And on this one here, I can't remember which one this was from, but this is more of a look I want to go for, where the actual wood is damaged and dark as well. You can actually see the actual staining on the wood as well. This is more of a look I'm going to go for, I think. So what I want to do now is just get a Chinagraph pencil, and then I'm just going to rough in on the actual body which sort of area I want to actually remove. So basically I'm using a Chinagraph pencil. It's used for marking glass, etc. So I'm just going to be looking at the actual pictures over there, and I'm going to be tracing out sort of areas I want to actually remove. So something like that. Over to here, obviously where it gets worn the most. Like that. A few bits of damage around here. Move over a little bit. And on the back end here, where most of the actual damage is going to be, I think. Obviously where your arm's been wearing on it over the years and things. So it's going to go like that, I think. Right through that damage there, which is good. And then a few little areas around here. Across the actual, underneath the scratch guard. Basically just making this up as I go along, because we shall be just attacking it with sandpapers and chisels and things to try and make it look as old and as worn as possible. I want to dull the actual finish down as well, make it look more of a, it's a satin finish, it's not a high gloss finish, this paint, because it looks quite old anyway. I'm not sure on the year of this guitar, but it's probably 90s, I sort of thought, something like that, maybe even early noughties. So it's not a massively old guitar. So what I'll do is I'll do the same on the back, and then we'll strip the guitar down and get it ready for removing paint and making it look relict. Right, so I've just basically roughed out the areas on the back I'll be removing most of the paint from. This section here, probably a lot more through here as well, I think. See what we can actually do. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the basic layout. This is, like I said before, this is only going to be a sort of rough base of what we're going to be actually doing with the actual body. I'm going to play it by ear and see how it goes with different methods. I've never actually done this before. This is complete reverse of what I usually do. I usually paint guitars, not remove paint. But I've always wanted a Relic. And I've always wanted to have a go at Relic in a guitar, and this was donated to me quite recently. It's quite a cheap little Encore, so it's an ideal candidate for a nice little build. I'm going to strip the guitar right down to its components, just the body and the neck. The neck, when I come to aging this, I think I'm going to leave that to last, because again, I've never reliced a neck before, and I don't want to go too mad. I've seen them and they look just ridiculous, look really stupid. So I may even just slight relic the neck, just age it up a little bit. I'll be changing the tuners. These are a bit cheap and nasty. I feel like they're rusted a bit actually. Yeah, so I'll probably take all these apart and replace these anyway. Okay, right, so I'll see you up on time lapse and we'll take the guitar to pieces. Okay, so we're basically stripped and the bridge was completely loose and it's pretty much junk. And you can see where the trem arm there has just basically been pulled out. Actual metal there, so it's all just crap really. I may strip the saddle down for springs and just spares, but I think the actual base of the actual tremolo is pretty much crap. So that's probably going to go in the bin. The guitar is ply, but that should be okay. Might give it a nice effect through here with the different layers of ply. And loads of polish in here. So when it was polished at the factory, they didn't skimp on the actual polish. So what I think we'll do now is we'll start by probably sanding this area, probably with a 80 grit. Let's see if we can actually break through and make it look worn. Still got the actual line there of the pick guard, as you can see there. So I'm going to try and go over that area there. So I'm going to start by just hitting it with a, I think this is an 80 grit. I may go a little bit coarser, just to actually break through the actual polyurethane paint. And then I've got a nice chisel, set of chisel and some gouges. So I'm going to actually go in and attack the actual paint all over. Trying to stick in this sort of pattern area and see if we can make it look old and battered, which I think we can. A little bit of progress made, and I'm not too happy with it at the moment. I'm going to sand this out here as well with a finer grit sandpaper, but like I said, I'm not really 100% happy with it. When I wet it up, it doesn't look too bad. I have got to actually age the wood as well, make it look dirty and old. Just a bit of dirt off my fingers makes it look a little bit better. But what I'll do is I'll set you up on time lapse so you can see exactly what I'm doing and messing about with it and making a mess of it. And hopefully I can improve this and make it look a little bit better than it is at the moment. With it being a poly finish, it doesn't chip and crack like a nitro finish would. I wanted to actually do it on a cheap body just to actually have an attempt with this one. Like I said, it's my first time actually doing this. But yeah, if I can get it all like that, I think I might be quite happy. But it needs more detail work, so I think I'm going to stay away from the old 80 grit and go something a little bit finer. Just take my time and do it that way. I may even go in with a sander just to actually get some of the rough areas down, because that, I don't like how it's looking there. Anyway, like I said, I'll set you up on time lapse and we'll continue and hopefully it'll look half decent when I'm done. Varied success. I've just tried a little bit of wood stain on there as well, and I think this will be okay with a little bit of wood stain and maybe a little bit of paint as well, just to enhance the grain and make it look a little bit more worn. I started with a sanding Relic, and then I went on to just a green Scotch-Brite Relic, and I'm having more success with that because it's not actually scratching the actual finish as much. I know it's going to look rough and road worn, but I want it to look natural rather than seeing all the scratch marks and sanding marks and etc. And to go with a chisel in there as well, which I wish I hadn't done. But the thing is, if I don't actually like this in the end, I can sand the whole thing right back and repaint it if I have to. But this, like I said, is complete reverse of what I'm used to. I'm used to painting guitars, not actually removing paint and making them look old. But I've always, like I said, I've always wanted a Relic. So yeah, so I think I've got sort of technique down now. I'm going to hit it with the drill, like I said, with the little green Scotch-Brite Relic, remove as much paint as I can in these areas, and then I'm going to go in and detail it with the file, with the round file, just to make it look a little bit more worn, etc. And then I'm going to round these corners a little bit as well, make them look a bit more as if it's been dropped and dragged along the floor and dropped on stage and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll continue with this, and hopefully when you see the next clip I'll be a little bit more happy with it. Right, so I'm getting a little bit happy with it. I still think I need to take some more of this actual sealer back. I think that's the actual wood sealer, so I may take a little bit more of that back and show more of the actual wood. It's gone right through to the ply there, but I quite like that actually. Got quite a nice sort of look to it. So I'm getting happy with it. I gave the body a little bit of a buff, just with some metal polish actually, just to, because I don't want it glossy. I want it just like it is now, like a satin sort of sheen. But when I just lay the scratch plate on there, I've actually aged this scratch plate up before, and I quite like the look of that. I think that's going to look quite good. I have got a really nice old bridge and jack plate. With those details, I think it's going to look quite good. I think I'm going to go a little bit further on these areas here, go down to the wood again so I can get some wood stain on there, because that's just a little bit of wood stain just to darken it up. But like I said, I think I'm going to go further around here. I wish I hadn't have done that, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and just want to enhance it a little bit more. I might even take a little bit more of the sealer back here. What I'm actually doing is actually just sanding it away, just sanding the paint away. I found actually hitting it with the chisels and things leaves too many gouges and things like that. I know a lot of these road-worn guitars do have a lot of gouges and things in them, so I may add a few bits and pieces to it. I will be keeping this guitar. It's my personal guitar. It's something I've always wanted, like I said before. So I'm going to continue doing some more sanding and removing of paint in certain areas. Again, I'm going to go around the actual top of the body sculpt there as well, and on the back. I haven't even touched the back yet. I want to get this looking quite nice. I don't want to go too mad. I was going to go for a really worn look, but I think this sort of finish I'm going to be quite happy with. I may try and just feather that bit in there a little bit more as well. But yeah, I'm sort of getting more happy with it. Happier than I was before anyway, but like I said, this yellow here needs coming back a little bit more. Right, so I'm back on the bench with the actual guitar, and I've actually cleaned the neck. I've dressed all the frets, given them a light polish. They're really quite nice actually. A little bit of wear here in the top, but I managed to polish all the marks out. I've done a rocker test as well, and I'm really surprised there's actually no rockers at all in this. So it's a really nice neck. Be interesting to see once it's actually all strung up what the actual profile's like, whether it's still flat. We can always give it a little bit of a tweak with the truss rod. I've taken the actual logo off and oiled this just with some finishing oil. This is from, is this Crimson? Yeah, Crimson Guitars. Really nice product this. I really like it. I've used it quite a lot. Used it on the Les Paul, which you may have seen in a previous video, except don't do it before you're going to do paint, because I got lots of silicones in the Les Paul on the back because I used that on the neck and it cross-contaminated. I've swapped to those gold tuning pegs that were in the spares that we got with this guitar as well. I am going to get some roller trees for this. These are just the normal string trees. I'm going to get some roller ones. I'm not happy with these ones actually. I don't really like them all that much, but it's going to be a simple swap over when they come. It's also got my little custom signature on there as well. This is a guitar I'll be keeping myself. So the next step now, like I said, is to basically figure out why it's not actually working properly. I'm thinking to swapping these pickups to ones I had on an old guitar I got. I think it was the Stars and Stripes Strat. They were really nice pickups. I think these ones are from the Squire, so I'm going to swap those for those. I think I'll do that next. I've also put my bridge on as well, which has been made to look more antique. It's got like a brass finish to it, same as the jack plate as well. Sort of liking the look of this guitar, and like I said previously, I think I went a little bit mad here and I should have just sanded it back. So I may even do that later at another point, but I quite like the look of it. I did get a massive amount of flack and insults and very harsh comments on a Facebook group that was for Relic guitars. Whether it's the demographic of people who are on that sort of page, or just way guitar people are going on the internet nowadays, they seem to be really fast with their insults and things like that, instead of seeing, you know, that everybody's individual and everybody likes individual things. It's all very toxic. So I am expecting quite a few comments as well in the comment section on this video, which would be quite nice for the algorithm. So if you want to comment, whack a comment below. Doesn't really matter, just try and keep it nice. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now is sort the wiring out. I've got a nice set of Ernie balls. I've just arrived. They're extra slinkies, so I'm going to whack them on it and see how it sounds. Right, another little update. It's all strung up, except I did break my brand new E string, and that was because the gold tuners I had, these ones, I got in that spares thing, basically junk. They were not tuned up at all. They kept slipping back, kept winding back on their own, and basically I overwound the E string and it snapped. So I've actually changed to a nice set of silver tuning pegs, which I wanted gold anyway, so I'm going to have to invest in gold, I think, and get some new ones, probably some Wilkinsons or something like that. But I've used the gold washers and nuts, so it doesn't look too bad. I took this string tree out as well, because that was causing issues as well, because I don't like this type of string tree. I like the roller one, so I'm going to get some of those ordered as well. So it's just little things I can change in the future and upgrade. But it's all strung up except for the high E, so it's a 5-string, but not a Keith Richards 5-string. All seems to be working quite nicely. Sounds quite nice. The neck is quite good. Action is, don't you see that? There's a bit weird on the bench here with my cup of tea in the background. Action is a little bit high, so I could probably adjust that. But the nut is really, really worn, so that needs changing out. So I'm going to order another set of strings, and I'm going to get a new nut as well, and get a new nut in here as well, because it's just so worn. I'm getting a lot of fret buzz. So when I lower the action too much, it just buzzes all on the first couple of frets. So that's another upgrade I'll be doing in the future. Really happy with the bridge, that's quite nice. These pickups are lovely, and these are the ones I said before out of the guitar that I did the stars and stripes on, so they got a really nice tone to them. I did do another tone knob and aged it all up basically with some I think it was coffee, a little bit of graphite pencil, and some of that wood stain, and that came out quite nice. But I've dropped it, it's rolled under the bench, so I'm going to get the bench out to get it. So at the moment it's without that pot knob. A little bit scratchy. It all cleaned up alright. I used a little bit of contact cleaner just to clean them all up, and it seems to be alright. A little bit scratchy still, but it's old. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this sounds. So in conclusion, and I think it's come out quite a nice looking guitar. It's probably not going to be to everybody's taste because A, it's a poly finish, it's plywood. I may have overdone the Relic a little bit, but worst comes to worst, I can flat it all off and repaint it if I wanted to at some point. But I'm quite happy with it actually. It sounds quite nice. Yes, I did break an E string, so a little bit silent on the E, but I actually quite like the look of it. I think it's something I'm going to keep and probably play a lot. I may mod it and change it, little bits and pieces. I may put a humbucker in at some point because I always like a humbucker. I might just keep it as a single coil, I don't know. Like I said before, I will be changing the tuners, probably to some Wilkinson or something like that, I don't know yet. And I've got to get some new roller string trees as well, just to finish it off. But yeah, it's really nice. The neck is lovely, a good fret polish and treat the fret ends. A little bit of tweaking on the old truss rod has straightened the neck up lovely. It feels really nice. I was going to relic the neck as well, but I'm not going to. It just feels so nice. I think it'd just ruin it. I'd rather keep it as it is with that really nice sort of satin, sort of really silky smooth finish. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the Relic job, whether you like it, whether you're indifferent, whether you hate it, which I think a lot of people probably will. But let me know anyway. Drop a comment below. Stay tuned for more content. The next video I think we'll be doing is an Ernie Ball guitar. We'll be basically completely restoring that and trying to get it back to a really nice finish. Maybe doing some artwork on it, I don't know yet. But that'll be coming up in the next video series. That'll be a series, not just a one-off like this one. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any content. And I'll see you in the next video.